Is that good? Understand this. Everything you fucking know is not real. Okay? All this bullshit that everybody worries about, ain't it? This shit ain't it. If you think your career is your life, that shit ain't it, man. There's a lot more. That is the smallest thing that you could strive for in your fucking life. If you think your girl is your fucking life, you are sadly mistaken. None of this shit is what life is about, man. No. There is so much more to delve deep into, dude. You can go a lot fucking deeper. This small time shit, it's nothing, man. You're gonna tell me that we came to this fucking planet, that we are supposed to work and study. That's why we're here. You're gonna dead ass, straight ass fucking face me and say that right now. Because that's what everyone says. Almost every single person is genuinely fucking convinced that that is actually their purpose, is to slave away at this bullshit. If you get caught up in that, I don't even know what to tell you. I don't know. Because that is clearly not it. You know, maybe it's a little bit hard to describe what is it. It's much closer to unconditional love than it is that. Tell you that much. It's much closer to discovering alternate dimensions than it is that. I'll tell you that much as well. It's much more closer to becoming your higher and better self than it is focusing on that bullshit. Because that's small time matrix ass shit. There's no fucking point in that. Dude. That is the least fulfilling, stupidest possible thing to care about. I was always confused because I would scroll through all the different majors, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. I would scroll through them all and be thinking the whole time, I genuinely don't think one of these is for me. Maybe sometime in the future I'll figure out which one is for me. Or maybe sometime I'll like this. Maybe in the... Guess what? None of those majors are for anybody. Yeah. That's the fucking fact of the matter. Is that there isn't a bullshit ass job that is for somebody out there. There's no major that is for somebody out there. Because, and you know why? Because that's not what we're here for. It's too small. It's too cap-headed. It's capped way too much. That is not the point. We need to go much further than that. There's a lot more you can do. Infinite possibility. That is what they are trying to keep from you. You are infinite possibility and unconditional love. Remember, you are spiritual being having a human experience. You are not a fucking bad person if you don't believe in religion. You are not the devil. You are not a horrible person. You can be spiritual without having a religion. That's obvious. Everyone already knows that, but had to say it. We got to go a lot deeper than this, guys. We got to start meta-fucking-tating. I've been doing it for 8 months now. It hasn't been every day, but it's been nearly every day. I think I went about a month. I think I went 1 month without doing it or something, around a month, when I was in like a little bit of a dip period. But yeah, most of the time I've done it for 8 months, and it's subtle. It's subtle and slow changing, which most things are. But I can tell you one thing. I am significantly less anxious and significantly more focused on, like, I can focus better, and I'm more focused on things that matter to me too. I'm not getting caught up in bullshit nearly as much. So I can't tell you if those things are solely attributed to meditation, because I'm sure they're not. But I can tell you those things did change for me. And I can also tell you for sure that if you try meditating and you can't, you think you can't do it, or it is really hard for you after doing it for 5 to 10 minutes, if it is really hard, then you need to keep doing it. The harder it is, the more you need to do it. Because if it's hard, you know what that means? That means you have way too much activity going on in your head. That is precisely what that means. Too much going on. Too much blabbering and chatter in the background. That is exactly what it exposes. That's why people can't meditate, is because a lot of people, I used to be like this too, you are always consuming something or always doing something. You're always hanging out with somebody, always on your phone, always on TV, always eating something, doing something the whole time. That's why a lot of people have issues sleeping or insomnia. It's for that very reason right there, is because you are constantly doing something and never giving yourself an opportunity to take in and like evaluate things that are going on in your head and inside of you. A lot of people aren't giving themselves the opportunity for that, and that's what meditation does. In large part, that's the main reason for it. So it may not even be apparently obvious. It's not like, okay, if you have anxiety, just do it. No, or if you have depression, just do it. It may not be blaringly obvious that you should meditate, but it is blaringly obvious that you should do it if you try it and it's really hard. You know what I mean? Like, you might not be aware of the mental chatter unless you try it, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? So try it, because I tried it years ago when I used to play a lot of video games and could not do it. And that's because I was horribly overstimulated to a very horrible degree, like way too much overstimulation from video games. You know, just way too much. But yeah, I remember trying it and just giving up and then never trying it again. just stop, never tried it. And then other times I tried it, and this was it was really hard for me for a separate reason. It was because I was like dealing with some stuff. I was like really frustrated and pissed off. And when I tried it, I got even more pissed off because it forced me to deal with thoughts I was having that I was trying to avoid. See, that's what it does. Meditation is a lot deeper and more beneficial than you really know and can ever imagine. It's a lot more important than you think. okay? I can't even fully describe it. I'm going to continue to try to describe it, but I can't fully describe it. But yeah, like you'll know. Just try it and see. Cuz like I said when I got really pissed off from it, I checked my heart rate. It was at like 120s, 110s after doing it. Cuz that's how riled up I got from my own thoughts. That's how connected I was to my own thoughts. That should never happen. You shouldn't be that connected to your thoughts because it's just subconscious replayings. That's another thing meditation teaches you, is that all of your thoughts, most of your thoughts aren't you. They're subconscious replayings. And what that means is that it's things that are required for survival a lot of times. So and it's not gonna give you, your thoughts aren't always gonna give you the proper information that you need to be hearing. It's not gonna give you optimal things to do, like optimal ideas always. Usually it's gonna give you ideas that have to do with survival, which are usually not optimal in this day and age. It's just how it is. So I strongly urge everybody to meditate. Honestly, it is such an important practice, and that's what I don't fucking understand about schools. I think at the beginning of this video I was talking about schools, right? What we are being taught makes absolutely no fucking sense. None of it makes, it does not make any sense. If the school system really wanted us to be our best self, if they really, really wanted us to, then they would teach us how to meditate and they would teach us about health. What, dude, why don't they fucking teach you about how fast food's horrible for you? What class out there is teaching about the dangers of fast food? What class is doing that? Why isn't there like a class about different diets, about like going vegan or keto, or a class about macros, about like carbs and protein and stuff like that? Because everyone has to know that. Why, that should be a class that's in high school. You know how there's certain classes that everybody has to go through, like chemistry? Why isn't there a required class about how to deal with shitty people? Why isn't that one of our required classes? Because everyone's going to run into that. Not everyone's going to run into chemistry. Like, if they're going to give you general classes, why don't they make a class about something that everyone's going to run into? Like, what type of sense does that make? Just think about that. What type of fucking sense does that make? Like, really, I don't know why we learn what we do. I don't get it. What, you think it's fucking impossible to like update the curriculum? Like, it can be done. We got money. It can easily be done. It's not getting updated because they don't want it to be. Like, just think about that. Think about how weird that is. That there's like such a low amount of information out there about health. Like, just think about, like, there's a low amount of mainstream information, that is. Because there's a lot of information out there, but just not in mainstream education. So I'm just gonna say it and say that if you think that you are genuinely learning something in college, then you're sorely mistaken. You need to reevaluate things. You need to really take a step back and really think about what education is and what actually knowing something is, because they're not teaching you anything real. You need to understand that. They're not teaching you a single fucking thing that's real. And why would they? If they taught in mass things that are real, then it would be harder for people to transcend above them. So it can be looked at as an advantage, really, because if you know how to track down the important information, and if you know how to filter out the bullshit, then you can be significantly ahead of everyone else. So you can see it as an advantage, and I do, because I can filter out this dumbass shit. I'm seeing it now. I didn't see it before. Before going on a good diet and meditating, I didn't see shit. I genuinely, it's not even that I necessarily believe, I don't feel like everybody necessarily believes in their classes when they're in math or something that, okay, yeah, this is like great stuff or whatever. But I feel like they don't question or rebel against it. I don't feel like they're like, oh, this is so stupid. Like, what the fuck? Like, there's got to be better information out there. No one does that. You know, so I'm just saying, guys, let's try some fucking meditation. I'm going to be making a bunch of references to meditation. I'm going to be making videos about it. Something that I'm heavily advocating people to do because of the ever-growing need for it, especially nowadays. It is something that is so needed now because of all the distractions. It just cuts right through that bullshit. If you got a problem, I don't even know if you would consider it a problem, if you think it's a problem, but I do. But if you have an issue of like having to always text people and stuff like that, if you meditate, what will happen is that you will start doing it and like fucking, if you got an issue with checking your phone a lot or checking something, you will start to get an extreme urge to check your phone like 10, 15 seconds in. And it's going to keep coming and coming and coming and coming. If you keep saying no, then it loses its power entirely. It gets shoved away. It doesn't keep asking forever. Maybe it'll come back later. It probably will come back later, but if you keep shoving it away, it'll keep losing and losing power. And if you do this every day, if you always shove things away that used to have power over you, guess what? You took that power back and you have the control now. That's what that means. But if you have these urges and you're always taking them, that means you don't have the power. Doesn't that make sense? So meditation helps you get your power and your control back. It's part of what it does. Helps you bring yourself back. If you sense yourself getting out of control emotionally, if you meditate on a daily basis for a long time and you're getting out of control, you will be able to come back to control so much quicker. You will still get mad, you will still get sad, you will still get whatever, but you'll be able to be like, oh, this is happening, because you'll just be aware of what's going on with you more, and you'll catch it and you'll bring it back, because that's what meditation does. When you meditate, you are literally catching your thought and bringing it back to homeostasis. Therefore, if you do it a lot in daily life, you will catch your emotions and bring it right back. Tell me that's not a useful tool. Okay, guys? Peace.